Yeah, thanks, Sefa, for the introductions. Um, so like I said, if you know anyone you've invited for this session, please, prompt them to join in now, right? We can't be going back to what we have shared. So if I confirm that I can share my screen so that I can have control.
Yes, you can.
Okay, let me see. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What can you see?
Employability skills.
Employability skills.
All right. All right, sorry. All right, so we'll just start off and hopefully we have more people join us as we go on. So employability skills, I'll be taking that, and then the next session will be digital literacy for the workplace. Now, the program is Youth Transition Program. Essentially, it's been packaged to help and support and equip young people who are transiting, from probably the academic world into the career world, or young people who want to go through a career transition, right? So they've already finished school, they're already working, but they want to make some very critical transitions with their career. So, certain things that you need to know at the early and a bit of the middle stage of your career journey. We're looking at topics like that, right? So, like you said, those are 45 minutes. We can't touch so much, but there is a virtual boot camp that starts tomorrow. That's a 2 weeks boot camp. So the program is in two parts. We have the boot camp, which is for 2 weeks, right? Virtual classes, where we'll now deep dive into the things we're discussing. But this webinar session, all right, will give you a high level discussions about those things. And then during the boot camp, you have more time to deep dive. So it starts tomorrow. I'll share the link for the bootcamp session this evening on the WhatsApp group. If you're not on that WhatsApp group, you need to indicate so that we could add you to the WhatsApp group. What I'm saying in essence is that I want to encourage everyone to, apart from attending the webinar session here, to also ensure that they are part of the virtual 2 weeks bootcamp, right? So these are more like taster sessions. So beautiful. All right, I'm trying to. So I'm the school of thought. We have a lot of people saying that there's unemployment in Nigeria, especially we don't have jobs and all that. Over the years, I've been privileged to lead different HR teams, different organizations, some as many as 5,000 people. And what that means is that I have the privilege to also interview and, handle certain recruitments, high level, middle level, entry level. And I can tell you for free that the problem is not about unemployment. The problem is that we have people who are not employable. All right. What I mean by that is that people who don't have the requisite knowledge, requisite skills, and the right attitude to be employed. Okay. So you need to look at the talent market as the way, for those who love football here, do I have football fans in the room today? Do I have football fans? If you are a Ronaldo fan, let me hear you say hi.
Hi.
Hi, good. Hi, okay, okay. Charity, Diwali. Do we have more Ronaldo fans here? Do we have more Messi? Do we have more Messi fans here?
Hi.
Okay, let me hear from the Messi fans. Messi fans, let me hear from you. Now let's do something. Go to the chat box. Hi, good. Now go to the chat box session, and if you're a Ronaldo fan, just write Ronaldo there. Let's see how many people will get. Let's see who will win the battle of the GOAT, the GOAT of the greatest of all time. So if you're supporting Messi, just put Messi there. If you're supporting Ronaldo, put Ronaldo there. Right, just tap, and then say if I help us count, and let's know who will win this vote. So quickly go there and vote for your And if you are here, you're wondering what we're talking about, then don't worry. You don't know anything about football. All right. So as we do that, what I was trying to say was, we look at the talent world like the football world, right? People don't just waste money because they want to help somebody by buying them to their club. They need a striker and they go for it. They spend money to get them to sign them on, and they get value. And if they're not getting the needed value, they sack them. All right. Sometimes they sell them off before their contract expires. So that is the way you must look at the talent market. So when you are saying, "Oh, I want to get a job," the question is, what are you bringing to the table? What is unique about you? What are your strengths? You need to do like a SWOT test for yourself. Write that down. As I'm talking, right. I mean, say things I don't even on the slide. So you need to write those things down, right? So one of the things you need to do quickly is to do a SWOT analysis of your strengths when it comes to your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities. What are the opportunities that are open to you? Okay, you are born in Nigeria, you're born in England, or what are the policies that favor you, in the employment market and all that? And what are the threats? So you need to do an analysis on what are the threats basis your current realities. Okay, you don't do things based on what you expect to happen. You do things based on how they are. So you need to do a SWOT test analysis on your strength, on yourself, and the talent you are bringing to the table, right? That way you're able to know where you are and know where you ought to be gainfully employed. Now, one other thing I want to share quickly is that when you want to make yourself employable, you need to do what I call a KSA competency test. All right. Now, KSA stands for K for knowledge, S for skill, and A for attitude. Now, these are the things that will make you excel in your career, whether at entry level, mid-level, or senior level. You need to have the requisite knowledge that is required. Now, especially at entry level, because at entry level, you may not have had the opportunity to demonstrate the skill that's required. We may not have been able to know your attitude. You can't know your attitude in one day. But at the interview, one thing that will make you stand out is knowledge. Knowledge. And there are three forms of knowledge that you must possess, and show. Number one, you need to have knowledge of the field, right, that you are going into. If you're going to the telecoms field or the oil and gas, the field, your profession now. You want to be an HR person, professional. You want to be a PR professional. You want to be, an IT person. You need to have knowledge. You need to know what is happening. You can't say you want to go into IT and you don't know anything about AI. You're just joking, all right? So you need to have knowledge. And what that means that you have to update your knowledge on a daily basis. Spend 30 minutes every day trying to know what is new in your profession. So it's very important that you get it right with knowledge. The second type of knowledge you need to know is knowledge of the industry. So there's knowledge of the profession, then now knowledge of the industry. So I want to work in the oil and gas sector, right? Or industry. Now I want to I'm an HR person, the profession, but now I also now need to have knowledge of that industry. It's very important because if I have knowledge of my profession, but I don't have knowledge of the industry, I may not be a good fit to work in that industry, even though I'm very good as an HR person. So to be able to carry my transferable skills from HR and make solid impact in the oil and gas industrial sector, I also now need to have knowledge about that sector. And the third type of knowledge you must have is knowledge about the company you want to work in. All right. I remember when I got my first job with MTN, as a youth corps member at that point, I did have experience and I wanted to go into HR. What did I do? I read everything about HR. I knew the father of modern HR, Dave Ulrich. I read everything he said. Oh, what are the 4 types of HR? I read everything. All right. And then I studied about MTN, who founded the company, the year he founded the company, what the company is all about. I did all the research. And then I also read about the telecom industry. So when I was going for the interview, other members were there. They were just coming, I want to just serve, I want to come and learn. But I was not saying I want to come and learn. I was reeling out. Even when you don't ask me the question, I'll be telling you, it's very interesting to note that, this company that was founded about 10 years ago has been able to achieve, per capita, blah, 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 profit. The profit last year was about so. Any interviewer will want to hire that kind of person because It's clear that you are self-motivated. It's clear that you have done your homework. It's clear that you are the right fit for the job. So knowledge is powerful. Anybody here on this call who just finished school, who just finished serving, trust me, you may not have the demonstrated skill, right? The skill, but if you have knowledge, you have an edge because many people are lazy. And so if you just take that effort, go the extra mile to really become a knowledge expert in that sense, you will stand out very quickly. Because you'll be sharing things that those people that are working in that industry or that sector or that field may not even know because it's not taking time to study. So it's very important that knowledge must be, on point. Now, the skill that has to do with skill is demonstrated knowledge. It is knowledge that you have demonstrated, with evidence, right? So maybe you did an IT somewhere, you're an intern somewhere, or you volunteered somewhere, and you were part of a project, and you were able to demonstrate certain skills, whether communication skills or original skills, whatever skills you were able to demonstrate, you have it recorded, right? So if you have that, that's good. But at the entry level, if you don't have that, knowledge will suffice at that point, right? And then the last thing is attitude. Like I said, the KSA is what you can use at every point in your career to actually evaluate yourself and see whether you are positioning yourself for continuous progress in your career. Now, when I'm taking a class like this, I like to ensure that everybody's following me. So from time to time, I will just say check. Now, when I say check, I'm going to check that you are following and understand. And if you do, you answer back saying check. And if you don't understand or you're not following, you say not check. Check.
Check.
Check.
Check.
Check.
Check.
All right.
Check.
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 All right. That is nice. Okay.
Check.
All right. So I'll skip my bio. It's there. I have over 15 years experience delivering value to different organizations across different sectors, telecoms, banking, consulting, oil and gas. Certified member of the CIPM Nigeria and also two American bodies. And I love what I'm doing today, right? It's part of what I do. I love it. Now, so the big question in the room is, what is your dream? I hope you can see the screen. That's what's on the screen, right? What is your dream? Now, before we dive into the two employment skills I want to talk about today, CV writing and interview skills, I just want to help somebody here to help the person to decipher and decide on what they would like to do. Now, let me put a caveat here, all right? While you may have a dream, you have something you really love to do, you may not be opportune to do that immediately. Sometimes it happens that you may not be opportune. Now, the wise thing to do is to, whatever your hands finds to do it well, all right? So if at the point you want to start your career, you get a job that you don't really love to do, just plain advice, free advice, start somewhere, right? But as you start there, so you can pay the bills and so that you can actually even get other corporate experience. Now, when you start there, start ensuring that you are making solid plans to transit to what you want to do. But it's important so you don't get locked up in the rat race of pursuing money. It's important that you also know what your dream is. So what is your dream? Now, your dream is a combination of what you are good at, all right, do what you naturally do effortlessly. You don't need to think too much about it. Some of you here, you can write. You just say, you want to write, just under 10 minutes, you have written something so beautiful that makes a lot of sense. Well, some other people can spend 1 month and they won't get what you got. So what are you good at? You need to be able to itemize those things. Take a piece of paper and start listing, what am I good at? All right. Now, some of you may never practice whatever you learned in school, and that's fine. Okay. But what you learned in school added some value to you, and that's okay. So don't regret it. But now, sit down and ask yourself, what am I good at? Then also, what do you love? Okay. So what do you love? What's your passion? What do you just love to see happen? All right. Then what the world needs. So like I said, don't live in dream la la land and not be realistic. Okay, so you must be able to see, how can I connect what I'm good at, what I love, what the world needs, and guess what somebody will pay for. Because at the end of the day, as much as, oh, I want to feel passion and this purpose, you need to be profitable, okay? And in this context of what someone will pay for you who wants to transit to a career or a job, it is what somebody will hire you for. Because when you work for somebody, they're actually paying for your services. So what you're good at and what you love, that connection is your passion. What you love and what the world needs is your purpose. What the world needs and what somebody will be willing to pay for is your calling. And then you have that what you're good at and what will somebody pay for your profession. So between your profession, your passion, your purpose, and your calling, you have your dream job. Okay? So don't get confused about it. What I'm saying is that the essence is that by the time what you are doing as a profession is connected with your passion, right? And then you see it as a calling, right? If you ask me, I believe that I'm called to help people fulfill their own calling, fulfill their purpose. And in this context now is to help them to fulfill their career goals, right? And become the best, right? So, and then what your purpose is. So the connection between your profession, your passion, your calling and purpose is where you will find the greatest fulfillment. All right, so how do you determine your interest? So stage one, I'll go to some stages and I'll rush through this because this is not the crux of the class. So, but I just thought let me add this to help you because I know that most people here will require to sort this out even before they start writing CVs and interviews, learn how to do interviews well. What are your interests? Now, knowing about yourself is the basis of career decision making. So you must be able to reflect. And in reflecting, you can also ask people that are very close to you, right? And if you want them to really be objective with you, you can do an anonymous link to maybe 5 or 6 friends. So you don't even know who is talking, but write very intelligent questions, right? So it's very important before you make career decisions. What are your interests, your skills, your values? What is important to you about your work, right? And what are your personal traits, your idiosyncrasies, your characteristics? What are the things that just come very natural to you? So ask questions like, what do I like to do? What do I value? What motivates me? What keeps my curiosity? What skills do I possess? Be very honest with yourself. I mean, if you deceive yourself, that means you're not really ready to grow. All right. So determine your interest early. Okay. Now, so the period between, I tell you when if you're here, you're a core member or you're about to serve, this is not a time to just be relaxed. It's a time to actually discover what you want to do and then have goals, that you will set to actually achieve those things in time. All right. Then stage two, when you determine your interest, stage one, stage two is to discover your career. Now, learn about the careers, different career paths, types of job, what are their educational requirements, the job functions that are important in understanding, in your career that fits your interests and goals. It's very important. So, for example, what I did, when I was about to serve was I did what I'm telling you, I did it for myself. I listed my skills, what I'm good and all that. And I'm going to look at which industry, which profession requires somebody that has this set of skills. So a lot of research, a lot of questioning, a lot of coaching and mentoring has to be done at this stage. Very important. All right. So what are examples of careers in my chosen major or field of interest? So ask yourself the question. I write very well. So that means I may be a good journalist. I may be a good PR person. I may be a good PA. I may be whatever I do, good HR person. You list it like that. And you're going to look for more skill. Okay, HR person must be empathetic. I'm not empathetic. Don't go there. Whatever it is, I'm beginning to list like that. And what job titles interest me? Go on LinkedIn. By now, if you don't have a LinkedIn page, after today, that's your assignment. Open a LinkedIn page. I'm beginning to look at job titles that interest you, that spark your interest, right? I like that job title, not because of how it sounds, but because of what it really entails. Oh, project manager. So okay, let me go and see. So we won't just like a title, go and see what it requires, and then begin to work towards ensuring that you deliver that. All right, so discover your career. Stage three, plan your goals. So it's not enough to just know your interest. It's not enough to just discover your career. You need to plan your goals, right? A goal without a plan is just a wish. You need to plan. What is your plan? Oh, I want to be a project manager. So what is the plan, that you have to become a project manager? Oh, I need to volunteer on a project that's happening. Oh, I need to enroll for PMP. Oh, so there must be a detailed plan. All right, and ask yourself, do you have the resources, to carry it out and give yourself a timeline, right? So it's very important that you do that. Now, I curated this, so make sure that you don't give it to anybody. You can't find anywhere like this. This is my career success hack. And your the career success hack is the connection or the interplay between the connections that you have, the results that you have, and the skills that you have. So if you want to succeed, if you want career success, it's important that you focus on your connections. So when you hear connection, most people think it's a bad thing. No, your motive is what matters. If you don't have the right connections, you're not going to move forward in life. It's just as simple as that. But we're not saying you should go and bribe somebody or tip somebody, no, or sleep with somebody to get from the no. Have right connections based on merit, based on the value that you want to get and the value you want to give. All right. So the connections that you need are the right mentors, the right sponsors. So mentor and sponsor are different, right? A mentor wants to show you the path, or this is how you go through it. But a sponsor does more than that. A sponsor pushes your career. All right. A sponsor is in the boardroom and says, no, we must promote Matthew. And not because of any emotional attachment, because your sponsor also knows your value. I've had sponsors like that who were able to give me jobs. And they told me, if you like, don't perform in the interview, you will get the job. Why? Because they have worked with me earlier and they know my capacity. So your sponsor is ready to go the extra mile to be a guarantor because he can beat his chest or her chest and say, you will deliver. Then your peers, you need to have the right peers, right? It's very important. Don't say mentor and sponsor is okay. No, who are your peers? Who are the people? Your peers will challenge you. Oh, I've done PMP. If everybody in your circle is not they're not very serious-minded people, it's almost clear that you are if you have 3 unserious people, you are the 4th unserious person. You don't just know it yet, but I'm telling you today. All right. So you need to be able to ensure that you carefully, purposefully select those who you interact. They will stimulate you, they will motivate you. All right. I've done things before just because I had peers who were doing those things, right? And it made sense to do it. All right. One of my first certifications I got from America body was because everybody about 3 or 4 people that were my peers who served together. We had 3 of them had gotten it already the year before. I was saying I was busy. And I was like, what's happening here? And not that out of competition, but it just helps to motivate you, right? Okay, good. Then your report has to do people who report to you. So you also need to select people. If you're not in the position of management, you also need to be very careful that you surround yourself with people that will also motivate you. So your results are very important. And that's why you must have a LinkedIn profile or your CV. You must document. There must be evidence. Like we say in the local way, say evidence day or something like that. That's it? I don't know. All right. So evidence day, a clear show, whatever it is, right? Profile. I went for a training. Take a picture, put on LinkedIn. Because the day you come and apply, I do it often. Any interview I'm doing, as I'm talking to you, I'm checking your LinkedIn profile and I'm going through it, right? And if you don't have more, it tells me something. So your inaction can also tell me that you're not the right candidate. So your achievements, you must profile them. Your projects you have embarked on, whether with a team or individually, you must profile them. And then your profit. If you're ever part of a team where you got profit for a company, always document it. Oh, we won $30 billion by this, by saving costs, or we did it by selling something. Always document it. Your results are very important. And your skills. All right, I've touched on this a bit. So in-demand skills has to do with, in-demand is the skills that are in demand at that time and season. For example, tech skills are in demand right now. So it will be folly of anybody to say, I don't want to learn anything around technology. I don't want to use the computer. I'm going to just be talking in my head. Most likely you have to give yourself a job. So you need to have in-demand skills. And then critical human skills have to do with what we call soft skills, communication, emotional intelligence. You see, interestingly, people look at soft skills and say it's not important. It is most important. The last survey done by the World Economic Forum or so about the top 10 skills for the next 10 years, about 7 of those 10 skills were soft skills. And the reason is because based on AI and ChatGPT, those tools have automated so many functions. So right now, it is critical human skills, soft skills that the machine cannot do that we need to employ people for. So you need to communicate well. You need to learn how to relate to people. You need to have emotional intelligence. You need to learn how to listen effectively. All right. Don't say, oh, I'm a Gen Z, so that's how we are. We are rude. We talk anyhow. No, no, stop that, stop that, stop that. You need to learn how to relate with people. The listening skills. So take a course. How do you do that? Take a course on listening. All right. Take a course on communication skills. Take a course on what else? Emotional intelligence, and learn their critical human skills. And they cannot, mark my words, they cannot be automated. A machine cannot, do, it's a human function, right? Then your relevant industry skills, right? If you're here, you say on oil and gas, and you don't know how much a barrel of PMS is, then you're not ready. Now, when I say you're not ready, I'm not trying to abuse you. I'm just saying I'm trying to challenge you that you leave this place and you're going to know who the first NAPC MD was. You're going to know everything about it and be very studious, right? So I've explained all this, mentors, sponsors, and all that, right? Good. Now we dive into CV prep. And we're looking at the 10 commandments of CV prep, right? We're making good use of our time. Good. Now, if you have questions, don't worry. Just when I'm done, we'll take the questions, whether we'll allow you to unmute your mic or you write down, or you write down your question in the chat group, right? So let's go. So 10 commandments of CV prep, okay? If we're in the classroom, I'll ask people, whether they have CVs or not, but I want to save time, and it's a virtual class, right? Trust me, a physical class will be more interactive, but it's fine. We are still together, right? Good. 10 commandments of CV prep. Number 1 commandment is thou. So mind my use of thou. I want to make it feel like, commandments in the Bible and all that. Thou will ensure that your CV is a story of achievement, not a monotone of job description. So you need to stop that. Whoever told you to go and copy job descriptions from LinkedIn or from other people's CV and put on your CV was doing you a serious bad thing. All right, because who will review the CV are not done. And trust me, why is it important your CV is okay? For every job that there's an application for, there's an average of maybe over 1,000 people that apply for it. And so, yes, we have an applicant tracking system that helps us to do the shortlisting or review of CVs, but sometimes when we now prune it down, we want to go through maybe a good number of the CVs. We don't have the time. So if I look at your first 3-4 lines on your CV, and it's not giving, let me use the words you guys use, it's not giving, I may just drop it. I may not have the patience to be looking down. All right, good. Now, so while it is important that when you look at a job advert, you look out for the keywords in the qualification segment and in the competence segment, and ensure that those words are also captured on your CV, because when we look at your CV, we do a control find most times, and we're looking for those keywords. Okay, so for example, it will be interesting while you apply for a project management job and your CV, you don't have the word project. I mean, how do you want us to relate that you can do the job? You say, no, there was a synonym, so I use another word. Come on. It's a project manager job, so you need to have the word project. So if I check your CV control F and say project, and I can't find the word project there, I've moved on. I may not have the patience to be looking and say, okay, let me try and help this person to see that maybe he didn't write it well. So your CV is is a document that you use to sell yourself and your competencies. You sell what you have done. And that's why I said you must look at it like the football world, right? So people want to buy a player, they go and watch the videos, all his pass for the antecedent, and make a decision. So your CV is what makes you interested even before you come and sit down in front of your potential employer. But that you want to look for the keywords doesn't mean you just lazily copy and paste. Because, for example, you're an entry-level person and you go and copy the job description of somebody who's been working for 10 years. It will show that, I mean, this person has not done these things. And again, it is a story of achievement, what you've done, not just what was on your job description in the jobs you have taken before. Oh, yeah, you work for 10 years and you have gone to 2 or 3 jobs. But don't just lazily, I use the word lazily, copy your job description and say, that's what the thing to do now. Demonstrate that you did those things and that you were successful at it. We don't want to just employ you or hire you because you have worked before. No. What did you do? What impact did you make? Because any company wants to move forward, we want to hire people who are achievers. So you must use action words, verbs, coordinated. I coordinated, a training for 10,000 people. Don't just say training assistant or training officer, just put some things. Say coordinate training for staff, do training plan. No, it must come with that sense of achievement, right? Number two, thou will ensure honesty is not compromised. All right, don't lie about your age. All right, people always have this. Maybe for those who are much older, they say, I have to go reduce my age. Don't do that. Right? Don't lie about your age. Don't lie about your work experience. All right, don't try to increase the number of years so you can qualify. Leave it. Be compelling enough. Even if they say, oh, people that have 8 to 10 years to apply and you have 6 years, don't try and inflate it. Just leave it at that. But put something else that will make them like, this person will need to consider, even though it doesn't have the number of years that we put in the advert. He has done some very important things that I think we need to see him first, right? I've done that 1,000 times, right? And then please, by all means, don't lie about your grade. If you don't say, the 2 was very strong. It was 3.49. If you come that weekend lecture, I didn't get 2.1. No, don't. I say, let me just write 2.1 there. I will not go and no, write your correct grade. These are things that do your integrity. And trust me, any serious company, even no matter how skillful you are, if they find that you're not being honest, they will most likely sack you. I've sacked people, a lot of people who we did some background check on their certificate and found that they didn't even go to the school at all. We fixed it and we sacked them. All right. So it's important that you are very sincere. And their CV, they had it there, right? Number 3, that will be clear, concise, and consistent in your CV. The 3 C's: clear, concise, and consistent. All right. Clarity is important. You must be clear on whatever detail that you are putting on your CV. So ensure you do double check, do peer review, give to a colleague, to your peer to help you review it. And if you have a mentor, a coach who has the time, who can also help you go through it, right? Then concise, it should be brief. Like I said, we have so many CVs to go through, so we don't have the time to be going through a 5-page document, right? It's a summary. When you come for the interview, we can now begin to ask you other things that you've done, and then be consistent, right? I interviewed somebody one time who we asked him how old he was. He said, I'm between 56 and 58. And I'm like, how can somebody's age be big? How can you are either 56, 57, 58? You can't be saying that you are in between. Funny stuff. I actually gave him the job because he was a funny guy, but also very good. But at your own level, you need to ensure that you're consistent. Don't say one thing. Even on the CV, right? Don't say one thing on the CV, the earlier part, and then on that part, you now say something else that is not in line with what you said earlier. Now we need to run a bit, right? So the next one is that we stick to black font color. I use God to beg you, right? Except, even when it comes to creative space, you still just need to stick with the black font color. That's for what you're typing, right? So just use black, it's fine. Don't use red. I said they said you can design something else, but your CV is black and all that. That will that's 4. Okay, number 5, that will place safe with pictures. Don't put pictures except it is requested. Your CV is not a photo book. All right, your CV is not a fashion parade, whatever. No, it's not Instagram. So don't except it's requested, don't put, right? If they want to see your face, they can check you out on your LinkedIn profile. And your LinkedIn profile is not a place where you should be you should be corporate and formal. It's not a makeup pageant, right? So for our ladies in the house. All right, shots fired, right? Good. Next one, that will avoid, avoid sassy emails like sexybookie@hotmail.com. Everything about that email address is hot. All right, so we don't want that. It's not except you're applying for a club or something. For the corporate world, keep it simple and professional. And what meant that is your name. Not even any form of your name. Bukola Olarewaju@gmail.com. Your name is all we need. If it's taken, look for different variations. Bukola_Olarewaju. You will always find one, someone that is free. Because it tells a lot about who you are, right? And that you're a serious-minded fellow. Now, that will make it a rule to capture more than one by phone contact. This is very important. Don't put only one phone number in your CV. Because if for any reason, like we experienced some days back, that network or that particular network goes out, I won't say anything. I won't mention any name. And we cannot reach you. Then your village people have gathered and say, now we want to employ you. We are looking to how to reach you. We cannot reach you. And God help you that you did check your email. One thing you must make a daily habit is to check your personal email. right? Just check it. Takes 5 minutes. Check whether you add mails. Many people say, because I'm not working. No, you have a personal email. Ensure that you check it. If you can check Instagram or Facebook every day, you can check your email every day. But it's good to always put 2 numbers at the minimum, on the minimum. And it may not be your own phone number, it may be a phone number of a family member or a very close friend. So they reach out that person, the person can actually reach back to you. Next, that will review your CV periodically, update with achievements of the job or your career, monthly if you can. All right. And what that means is that to also propel you to achieve something. If you tell yourself every month, I need to review my CV with achievement, that means you'll be propelled to want to do an achievement. Okay. Of course, when you add that, you need to now maybe remove one old one. That's also your CV doesn't become like 10 pages if you're achieving every month, right? So it's important that you don't leave. I don't say I will do it later when I want to apply for a job. Just do, you may forget. So write it down and then update your CV. That will free up space for important details that add value. No need for your LG or your CV. So except you're applying for federal government job and the request for it, we don't need to know that you come from Ojukokoro local government in Osun State, right? It's irrelevant. Free up space for more important things, right? And that will forward your CV in PDF. Don't forward your CV in MS Word because people can either edit, take any information from there, or they can add, right? You don't want that to happen, right? For example, somebody who is, maybe someone sees your CV, a very good CV, but in the person is reviewing, and he or she has another candidate that he wants to put there, and he wants to make you look bad, and now they reduce the number of years from the MS Word before they submit it to the boss or something. So PDF, now I know you will say people can convert PDF to Word. That person has to go the extra mile to take your PDF document to go and, So, but ideally, it's neater to just submit your document in PDF format. All right, just to go through some things we talked about earlier. Have a professional email. Just said that. If you don't have relevant experience, no worries. Just focus on your relevant and transferable skills. All right. So it's very important that you look at that. What are your transferable skills? Skills that you can use in one profession and still go ahead and use in another profession. Simple as PowerPoint skills, as simple as Excel skills. You can use it in data analysis, you can also use it in project management, also in HR. So if you don't have the core relevant experience, accentuate, right? Push forward those transferable skills that you have, okay? All right. Talk about your contact information. Ensure you include the phone number that are active. Now, your profile statement are 3 sentences about you, okay? It is who you are, where you are going, and the value you will add to the company. Very important. Now, let me say this. When you're beginning your career, you don't have work experience. Yes, it's okay to put your academic preparations first. So let them see you. You got 2 and you got first class and all that. But as soon as you begin to have work experience, your academic qualifications should not come first, come last. Okay. So that level, we're not looking really at what you got. We're not looking at what you have done. Okay. But either ways, have a profile statement, who you are, where you are going, and the value you will add to the company. Right? Good. I know people like to put I can work under pressure and all those things. Just like when I get to work, start complaining about you can't work under pressure, So I talked about the keywords earlier. So the idea of including the most relevant information and putting it first, like I said, is so that we can see that this is what you have gotten to, not that we're trying to look for what you have done. All right. I think we've touched on this as well. So keep it recent and relevant. And then for each of your work experience, ensure that you have a start and end date. It's a bit tacky when we have to be calling it candidate say, oh, we saw your CV, but it was not well done. It was not this and that and that. No, it's important that we are able to clearly prepare our documents. So every experience you have, I worked here from 2000 to 2002, make sure you put the dates by the side of the experience so that we know what we're dealing with. So I have a sample achievement here. Okay. Sample for achievements you can write. For example, spearheaded the e-learning revolution. This is me actually. All right. Dublin or Academy Online. This enables staff engaged learning in a more interactive manner while drastically reducing the classroom training budget by over 60%. You see that? So I'm taking action. I spearheaded that project. It was a revolution. I'm calling it a revolution. It's a solid document. Say yourself. All right. You know, that thing I just wrote now, you can say it in one very simple phrase. We started doing LMS for the staff. But at the same time, you can actually package it in a way where people see that the impact, you know, that was received by the people who you know, benefited from the program. The other one, champion the transformation of the health management system by switching to a more cost-effective TPA system that allowed the company control spending while improving the medical plans and staff. This led to that and you can do this in your CV. You bolding the part you want to bold. You're saying yourself. This led to a whopping savings millions of over 80% from the initial amount budget for health. So I can just say simply, we changed our HMO system to another one and move on. But that will not sell it. So the impact must be stated. So you must think through this thing. And when people see that, let's invite this person. He knows what he's doing. All right. So you gain the edge when you do that. Okay. So now we'll move to interview skills. So interviews, wow. Now you are coming to see the people who you sent your CV to, right? Interesting stuff. For you to get to interview stage, you have done your CV properly. Most likely you have the experience or you are qualified for the role. Now, so the skills that are required to go through this hurdle have largely to do with the critical human skills, right? Of course, the technical part has to be there. So you must have the technical skills for the role. I must say that because some people say, they trained me for interview skill, I went there, but I didn't get the job. You didn't get the job because you didn't know the technical part also. But what we're saying is that you can have technical skills, but if you don't have interview skills, largely based on communication skills, whether verbal or non-verbal communication, you know, you will not be able to convince the interviewer that you're the right fit. So check it out like this. You have people who have the technical skills. They are IT people. They can do the graphic design. They can do everything. So at that point, and I want to employ only one person. At that point, what will make you stand out are these interview skills we're going to discuss today briefly. All right. All right. So interview skills are skills of action that allow a person to be more effective throughout the interview process for a position. You know, and excellent communication skills are essential for a successful. Why is it important? Because we invited you to come and communicate. So you must communicate well. And when you hear the word communication, don't just think about speaking phonetics or phoneme. No, that's not what we're looking for. For us, that's even fake. If that's not the way you speak normally, there's a problem. So you must be real, but at the same time, you must be a good real version of yourself. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody. All right. So you must be a good real version of yourself. Check.
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 All right.
Check.
All right. So good. So you must begin to, so you must begin to learn these things. Now let me say this. So I always tell people that if you work in a company or you're about to work in a company, you always go for an interview every day. The only problem is that you didn't get an invite. What I mean by that is that people are always watching you, people are always observing you. Okay? So your non-verbal communication, your non-verbal cues, how you work is very important. How you walk into the place matters. If you walk in timid, you are telling us that you're not a bold or courageous person. All right? If you're walking overconfident, you're telling us that you're a proud person. So someone's wondering, how do I walk it? Just walking normally. All right? All right. So it's somewhere in between not being overconfident or being proud. You know, one day somebody walked into an interview room and he sat down and crossed his legs. You know, he crossed his legs and then reclined. He lost it at that point. He had not even said a word and he lost. Myself and my other partners knew and there was no way we'll give that guy the job. All right? Because what you have to realize that, again, apart from the technical part, the people who are interviewing you, most likely they are also staff of the company, in some context. They're also looking at who will be a good colleague to us. So you must understand that you must be relational. You must, work on your interpersonal skills. Very important. Okay. And then one key thing is eye contact. Let me just touch on the things that are on the screen. Eye contact, right? Very important that you maintain good eye contact. Now, if you're somebody who is always afraid of looking at people, maybe because of your cultural bias, you don't look at elders, or you're a shy person, what I advise is that you look at the nose, all right? So instead of looking at the eyes, focus on the nose or the mouth of the person, or focus on the forehead. Now, that way, don't move your head, but let your eyes be focusing there. That way, they will think you are looking at them, but meanwhile, you're not actually looking at the head or the nose. All right, so that's a hack I'm giving you there. All right. But now that we're saying maintain eye contact just tells us that you're a confident person and you are sure of what you possess, right? Are you ready to deliver? But at the same time, don't stare at people. Very important. Don't stare at them, right? That's being rude. Okay, you cannot argue anybody in interview, no matter what they say, even if they insult you. Just say, just politely say, well, I don't think that's appropriate, but it's fine. But don't go there and say, let me show you my other side. So I keep for interview, I will finish you. You have lost the interview. All right. One key part is preparation. Never wing an interview. No matter whether you have been working for 20 years, that's small job. I know everything there. No. Always prepare, even if just a small preparation. Find time to just look at the job description again, look at what you have done, your CV again, remember the examples you want to give, and just prepare for it. Always prepare. Especially at any level of your career, you must prepare. Go to the mirror, sit down, dress up, look at the mirror or whatever. Or even use your phone, record yourself talking. All right. Or then call your friends or your siblings and say, you know what, ask me these 10 questions and see how you respond. Record it. What will it do to you? When you're watching it, you also learn where you need to, some parts you need to, brush up. And then you also instill that confidence in you that you are ready to face the real panel. When you're answering your questions, be very brief, right? Don't go on talking. Now, I get the point that you want to show that you know what you're doing. But at the same time, if you talk, you have the tendencies of now talking out of points. So you need to be careful that your answers are brief and straight to the point. Now, let me say this. I have a way of finishing interviews with introduction, right? And I share this with people, and I want to just share this with you here. There's a way you can really prepare for an interview that by the time they ask you, tell us who you have finished the interview, and has to do with what you have achieved, like I said earlier. So when I go for interviews where they just make that mistake by saying, tell us who you are, and I talk about myself, my profession, what I've achieved, and everything that I know is required for that role. And I give you numbers. Oh, I've trained 1,000 people. I've recruited 5,000 people. I've done this. I just keep giving the numbers. What I realized that when I finish, okay, what do we need to ask you again? Now you have said everything. And then we now go and just maybe some people just end it there. Sometimes they just ask one or two other things because I've shown that, no, I have done this thing. That's of course if you have done it and you have evidence for that, right? So confidence is very important. You need to be confident. Don't be timid and all that. Now, I know a candidate who had a communication, a speech problem. It was a stammerer, right? And people were concerned that how would this guy go to the interview? It was a chronic one. What he did was, when he got into the interview room, he told the interviewers that he was a stammerer. Before he started talking, just to let you know, disclaimer, I stammer a lot. So please bear with me when I'm talking. That simple act, showed that he was confident. Despite the speech issue he had, he was confident in his competence, enough to let them know that, you know what, don't see that I'm stammering and taking time to answer the questions, so just allow me to be. Guess what? He got that job. Because that information showed the panelists that this guy is confident and we need to be more patient with him. And he got it, with the stammerers and all that. Very important. Now, be punctual. Do not go late. For the chronic latecomers, do not go late for your interview. That is setting yourself up for failure. Okay? If we say 10 delaying us and show that you don't have respect for our own time. Don't go to an interview and be frowning. Don't say that's how my face is. You need to ensure that you smile, right? So practice, in fact, you can practice your smile. It's accepted. Practice your smile and all that. Ensure that, of course, again, don't smile too much. Don't go there and just be laughing at everything. You're going for an interview, you're laughing and you're hitting the panelist as if it's your friend. You're laughing, you hit him. You are being too friendly. That's being over friendly. But of course, smile and of course ensure that. Well, don't go around joking. You don't know what will be offensive, but smile and ensure you maintain professionalism. Okay. So yes, also stay safe. Ensure you're well. No, don't expose any body parts. Don't sag your trouser, your pants, your jean, whatever. So ensure that you're well dressed for the interview. Okay. One that I normally do, it's a trick, is if you ask me a question, for example, interview, and I don't know it, I want two things. I will tell you to repeat the question. When you repeat the question, do you mind repeating the question, please? While you repeat the question, I'm thinking of the answer, you know. And if I do that and I don't have the answer, I will tell you that, is it possible for us to come back to that question? Let me answer other questions and I'll come back to that. So at every point in time, you're not a machine. You don't know everything. Even the person asking the question doesn't know everything in his life. So don't feel ashamed to say, okay, I don't know that question. Can we come back to it, right? So let me answer that questions. Maybe we'll get back to it. Sometimes they forget to even get back to you. But if you remember you knew the question, take them back, right? But if you not get back at the end and you don't know it, well, I can't really think of something to say right now. I don't want to give you a wrong answer. I don't believe that I should just make a false claim, you know. So it's important. It's important that we get that done. All right. Now let's go on to the next one. All right. So we are trying. Let me see if I can do this in 10 minutes. So I talked about the soft skills I said earlier, very important at this stage of your career, at whatever stage really. Critical human skills are very important. It helps you to form deeper connections with colleagues and with customers. Whether you're going to go into business or you want to pursue your career, you need to imbibe these critical human skills. All right, very important. So there are 12 critical human skills for the future of work. These are globally researched facts. So it's not something that I just put together, right? The first one is emotional intelligence. Like I said earlier, this is a very critical part of what you require. So as I'm saying these things, I may not have enough time to go into them, you know, in detail. But what you can do is write them down and then go do some your further research, right? Or do trainings on them online. You could go to allison.com. But again, as time goes on, we'll also have sessions like this that will have more time to look at them. And also in the virtual bootcamp for 2 weeks, we'll actually take some time to look at one or two of those skills. But briefly, I'll just talk about them and move on so we can move on to the next session today. So emotional intelligence has to do with 3 basic areas, right? You, first of all, being self-aware about your own emotions and how you manage yourself, and then how you are also going to be socially aware. So I mean, aware of those around you. So you have to be aware of yourself first. It's like love your neighbor as yourself, and then also be aware of your neighbors, and how you're able to now manage that relationship is how we'll be able to detect that you're emotionally intelligent. All right, so the next one is critical thinking. Very important. People will want to employ people who are critical thinkers. So you must begin to develop that capacity to think critically about things. How do we know you're a critical thinker? The way you talk, all right? So the way you analyze issues. How to become a critical thinker is also by ensuring that you engage your mind in critical things. Okay, so read books that will also make you, you know, make you look competent and also be competent actually, and then reflective, right? So the next is creativity. It's a very important thing that people are creative. Um, everybody wants to work somebody who can think outside the box, who is imaginative, who can create solutions to issues or problems that may come their way. So don't run away from issues or problems. Look for ways, sorry, look for ways to develop. If you can, creativity and problem solving are sort of connected. So if you're that kind of person who is able to think outside the box, and you're also emotionally invested in your work, you'll be able to also solve problems. That's the next one, problem solving. So problem solving skills is also a very critical human skill that you must imbibe. Then we have collaboration. Many people have issues around here. They can do the job on their own and all that, but the way the world of work is, even if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you need to be able to connect with other people in the value chain. So you must learn. Yes, people can be bad, blah, blah, blah. But if you want to move forward in your life or career or business, you need to learn how to collaborate to get things done. Also, you need to develop the skill of influencing people, all right? That's a leadership skill. You are free to influence people to achieve results. Is also very critical. Then the art of negotiation, okay? For those who have learned from their parents how, or their mothers or fathers how to get a good buy, this will come in very handy now, even as you're going to the corporate world or as you advance in the corporate world. All right, so negotiation is very important. I can, from trying to negotiate for a good deal, a good buy, to actually negotiating more time for the tax to be given, it's very important that you learn that. And negotiation, the key is to say, where can we find a compromise, right? What can I give? What can you take? How does everybody leave the table not feeling slighted and feeling that they've gotten something out of that transaction? So it's important that you develop, and how to develop this thing is go through trainings and practice what you learn about it. Then there's conflict management. Conflict is bound to arise, but also the ability to actually engage people successfully and resolve the conflict is something that is important. Resilience. Wow, I wish I had more time to go on this, but it's very key. When you say I can work under pressure, we're talking about the ability to have the stamina, emotional, mental stamina to go through rigorous exercises and processes and projects with the mindset that we must conquer it. So you must develop that, and it will make you attractive to your potential employer. Adaptability. Change is constant in life. Change may not always be palatable, but change is constant. We're looking at people who are adaptable. All right. If you want to change what the company is selling to customers, you won't be saying no. We have to stay with what we say. We say we're going to be selling typewriter. We cannot sell computer. And you are doing a luta to the management. We want people who are ready to adapt with the flow. Also, it has to do with if you are working in department and the company requires that you work somewhere else, you're also ready to adapt. Okay, it's a skill that we must begin to develop if we want to be attractive. Learning, be a lifelong learner, right? Every day, read a new article, watch a video, ensure that you are learning and you're upgrading yourself. It's a very important critical human skill that will make you stand out any day. Learners are growers, and the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. And of course, the last but not the least is communication. All right, effective workplace communication is about making that connection with others in your organization. A simple handshake, a simple pat on the back, it's non-verbal communication to show that, okay, I'm with you and, I'm for you and all that. So it's very important that we learn how to communicate effectively. And interestingly, no matter how good you are in communicating, whether verbal or non-verbal, it is something that you have to keep on learning and keep on developing yourself as the day goes by. All right, now I want all of us to read this out loud. You're gonna mute your mic and read out loud.
It is not the critic.
1, 2, everybody.
If
If
it
it
is
is
not
the
the critical
critical
man,
man
of
of
the
the
man
man
house,
from
From
the doer
where the doer
could
ought
have
done them better.
belongs to the man,
Credit
belongs to the man
belongs to the man who actively in the arena, whose face is marked with sweat and blood, whose perseverance knows in triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Theodore Roosevelt.
All right. So those were one of the American presidents, and so he said that what he's saying in essence is this: as you embark on your career journey, ensure that you see yourself as the man in the arena. Don't stand by and criticize people or just look at things happen to you. Ensure that you put the work in there. And even if you don't succeed, you stand up and learn to bounce back and learn how to do it better. So you go for an interview, for example, and you do not get the role, that's not the end of the road. Go back, review, evaluate, and check out what went wrong. And then next time, come back and do it better. And when you get that job, ensure that every day you are the man in the arena, you are looking at yourself and constantly improving on your selling and your value proposition. Every employee, just like a business, has to have a value proposition. So the question is, what is my value proposition to my potential employer? What am I bringing on the table? All right. Am I going to save you time? I'm going to bring you profit. Am I going to, whatever it is, you need to know it. And then when you know it, you need to capture it on your CV. That you know what, this is what I'm coming to do for your company. This is the value I've done before, and I know I can deliver it for you. Right. And then when you come for the interview, ensure that you also show that value proposition. And definitely they will want to hire you and pay you handsomely for your service. And on that note, I want to say thank you. We have come to the end of the first class. All right. Do we have questions?
Please, could you go back to slide 14?
Oh, stop sharing. Sorry. Were you writing something there?
Yes.
All right. So check.
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 All right. So on the chat group, do you have questions on the
Check. Please, not a question, but I want to say something. I want to ask for a favor.
Okay, go on. I'm hearing you.
Please, I don't know if you can help me go back to I think it's like 2 or 3 where we have the stage 1 for how to write how to get to know what your passion for or what you want to become, something like that.
Okay. All right, while I try to open slide 2 and then Maurice said I should open slide 14, right? I'm trying to share my screen. I don't know why it's not. See if I hope I still have the right to share it. Okay, I'm trying to do that over and again. What's happening? All right, while I try to get that, or see if you can share the screen, the PowerPoint slide again. On the group, just write what you've learned.
Sir, your screen is still showing.
The PowerPoint?
Yes.
PowerPoint is showing, right? Oh, okay. Is it showing now?
Yes.
Okay.
Change the site.
Maurice, what slide? Slide 14, right?
Yes, slide 14. Yes, this one.
Okay. All right. So while I'm doing that, while they get what they want to get from the slides, so just on the chat group, give me feedback on the session quickly if you enjoyed it, and then also write it there, and then quickly also write what you are learning, what you're taking from this session. Number one thing you are taking, 1 or 2 things tops on the chat group. So write, if you enjoyed it, and then also the 2 learning things, 2 learning points that you're going to take action on immediately. You must take action. Don't say, wow, it was great and good. No, fine, it was great, but at the same time, I'm going to do this and do this. Very important. If not, you lose the steam. All right, so Maurice, are you done?
Yes, sir, I'm done. Thank you very much.
Slide 2, right? This one?
Yes, sir. This. Thank you.
Okay, so quickly, do I have anybody has a question, has a comment? All right. Okay. So, like my lecture.
I'm done, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Start.
Go on.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Like, sir, I would like to ask, can we get the recorded section? Like, I can see that it's recorded. Can we get the recorded?
You'll get the recorded session.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Margaret. All right. So can we get
I have a question.
Hello.
Okay.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Godwin.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This session was a really enlightening one. My take home today would be the interview skills that you mentioned. Yes,
Okay.
and then I would start working on most of those skills, and I'll keep practicing every day to see how better I can get at them before my next interview, hopefully. And also, I think I also enjoyed the part where you spoke on the critical human skills. Yes, and I think one aspect of the critical human skill that I need to work on would be critical thinking. Yes, I think I'm quite lazy at critical thinking. Yes, most of the time I'm lazy at it. So I'll try strongly now to work on my critical thinking ability or skill. And also, I just have one question. And my question is if you don't have like a professional experience before, you've probably never worked in any professional setting, and then you went for an interview, and um, they probably need you to speak on your past experience in a professional environment. How or what do you do in such a situation?
Okay, so if you don't have, number one, try and have. How do you have? So volunteer, right? So volunteer to work somewhere for free, right? Even if it's 2 times a week, I want to come here and help you guys to do typing and all that. Whatever it is, just volunteer to help people. And they can give you transport, if not give you anything, that's fine. You're trying to build yourself so that you can actually show. Because if you see, I'm not doing anything, I've not worked before, also means that you're a very lazy person. So it's important. But now, if you don't have the work experience and you ask that kind of question, what you just do is say, well, have, I've not been opportuned, right, to have that kind of experience. However, so you have to know how to direct the conversation at all times. While you may not have the answer to what they're saying, you can direct their attention to something that you have that is close to what they're looking for. Oh, why I don't have a corporate experience, I've been opportuned to be the Secretary General for the youth group in my church. And in that capacity, we're able to organize, our convention where we hosted 100,000 people for 10 days. That required that we organize the finances, you now use everything in project management, for example, and you have to do the budgeting, and then we did this and we did that. So while you ask, so what you're looking for in the corporate environment, I have not been able to have that experience, but I've done it in my church as Secretary General or in a social group, a Rotary Club I'm part of, and we achieved this, right? That way, you gotten their attention. And for you to even think like that and quickly answer that question, they know that you are a very sharp person and they want to employ you. Are you good, Godwin?
Yes, sir. I'm good. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, that's beautiful. A lady was trying to speak when Godwin was speaking. Who's that? You can speak now.
Oh, it was me. I wanted to ask the same question.
Okay, Charity Kazaza, where are you speaking from?
From Malawi.
Malawi. Oh, nice to have you here on this call. So,
Thank you.
what have you learned today, or you have a question? What have you learned today?
Okay, today I've learned a lot, and what I'll do is like I'll work on my CV because I need to improve on my CV because I've learned a lot of things that my CV wasn't that good, so I'll improve on that, and I'll work on my skills, like to improve on critical thinking, problem solving, and the like.
All right. Well done. Well done. Well done, Charity. And we're going to be having mentorship and coaching sessions even after now, from when you're done with the virtual bootcamp next week or thereabout. So just make sure you look out for that on the WhatsApp group. If you're not in the WhatsApp group, um, just drop your name and phone number on this Zoom chat group, and we'll pick it up from there and add you to the WhatsApp group later on, right? And you can also invite other people as we go. We have group mentorship sessions that will deep dive into some of these things as we go on. All right, thank you very much. So keep writing the lessons you've learned, the feedback from the session. Thank you very much. Now, we'll talk about do. We're going to move to the next session quickly. Anyone ask a question there?
Yeah, a quick question.
Okay, can you speak up? I couldn't hear you very
well. Okay, can you hear me now?
better, Maurice.
Okay, a quick question. You made mention of a hack or one of the hacks about when should I call it when writing, should I say, professional statement or so
Okay.
on your CV. Okay, the first question is this: which is more presentable, a professional statement or an objective statement? Then the second is, can you give us, like you gave a keyword that HR people use in screening CVs, such as control find, searching for keywords such as you made mention, I think you said HR or something like that. So I'd like, could you give us like some other hacks like HR people use when screening CVs, and between the two, which is better, a professional statement or an objective statement?
All right, thank you very much, Maurice, for the question. All right, so the idea is not what you won't call the statement. Can just be can call it profile for all you care. But the key thing there is you're trying to introduce yourself, right? So whether you call it objective, call it profile statement or professional statement, you're trying to introduce yourself in a professional way. That means as a professional, right? Also, like I said earlier, in that professional statement or objective, as it's normally called before, you are trying to sell yourself. So it is what you have done. If you just start your career, probably where you schooled, what your grade was, and then you're describing your person, who you are, and what you have done, and what you want to do, all right? Going forward. So once you have those three elements in that first statement, whatever you call it, whether objective, profile, one thing is that not that anyone is wrong, but when something has been overused, the HR person gets tired of seeing it. So you have to be very creative. All right. So we are using objective. I can work on that pressure. So even if it's true, you can work on that pressure. Once I see you can work on that pressure, I'm like, say something else. Right. So you need to be creative in how you capture what is unique about you. That's why we now evolve from objective to maybe say profile, or when I say professional statement. So that's just it. So, but the key thing is the content of it has to have who you are, what you have done, a bit of what you are doing and what you want to do in the nearest future. Your other question was what again? Sorry.
The other question is if you could give us some hacks like the control find, you said one or two hacks HR people use in screening CV.
In screening CVs. Well, if you obey all the commandments, you are fine. All right, you are fine. And obey all the commandments, and then also ensure that what they bring to the qualifications for the role, you have everything. You are able to indicate it on your CV. So if they say 4 to 5 years, find a way to put on your CV, oh, I have 5 years experience in so and so and so and so. So it's very important that whatever is put in the qualification or put in the experience section, you are able to a very large extent make sure it is on your CV. So that way they will be able to shortlist you, and that's not a problem. Is that okay?
All right, thank you very much, sir. It's very helpful.
Yeah, but also for the interviews, whenever you're an interview panel, I always tell people that there will be that one person who will like you. I don't know what happens. There are 2-3 people, one person there will just like you, right? So what you need to do is most times try and always maintain eye contact with that one person to help you instill more confidence, right? And you may also have one person who doesn't really like you for no reason. So try not to look at that person too much. But of course, don't make it obvious that you're trying to deflect from the person. But you'll do fine. You'll do fine, right?
Um,
All right.
Sir, I have one more question, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I heard, I don't know how true it is, that there is an AI, is it tool or machine that actually screens CVs that are sent to organizations when you apply online, and that that CV will just look for the keywords that are in your CV that aligns with the requirements of that particular job that you are applying for. And then if your CV doesn't really match, it will just it will reject it automatically even before the HR gets to see it. So I don't know if it's true.
Okay, so essentially, like I said earlier, we have what we call the applicant tracking system. It's an ATS, right? We've always had that for years, not only just now. So what it does is that when people apply, the back end of where you apply on the website, the back end of it, it helps you to sort out based on the qualifications you set and other parameters you set. It helps you to sieve out people that have, the ones that are the major requirements. So after you have sieved out that, you can now begin to, sorry about that, right? Begin to review, to read more. So for example, before the advert is set up, we just, okay, this role is for 2-1, people that got 2-1 above. And when you were filling the link to apply, you filled in you had 2-2. So when it's set to shortlist, sorry about that. When it's set to shortlist, it will sieve out everybody that didn't get 2-2. And we're now left with those who have 2-1, right? Maybe we'll preset that want to just people that have 5 to 7 years. It may sieve out those who have less than the 5 years. So when it does all those sieving, we will now need to still go through the CVs that now make it to that final course. It's just a way to help in the shortlist process. Is that okay, Godwin? Check?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. So without much ado, we're going to go to the next session. Very interesting session. Mr. Gideon Ilori is somebody who has been in tech for over 20 years. Tech Space is the partner of TechSide, a company that deals with tech solutions for the workplace and for everyday living and all that. So, so sit back. We're gonna have a great time. I'll hand over to Mr. Gideon now, Ilori. Safer, you also give him the right to share his screen. So, Mr. Gideon, over to you. Let's give him a virtual hand clap. That's what Safer says. So, Mr. Gideon.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon. Okay, I just want to be sure you can all hear me.
Good afternoon, sir.
Matthews.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, lovely.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me well?
So we still have the last presentation on screen. Okay, so while we work that out, I want to say I don't know how to put it, maybe a very big, huge afternoon to everybody there. And I believe that it's a great time for us to meet. Once again, my name is Gideon. I've been I lead a team of tech, I call it a tech response team, where what we do is having to look for the solutions, how to use technology to solve problems every day, and how we can empower people to do the same. You can agree with me, for some of us, or if not for all of us, we have not used up to 50% of the resources on our phones. Sometimes you buy phones of how many dollars, and all you just do with it is call and receive text messages. But one interesting thing is that the phone in your hand is so much powerful than the first processor that took the man into space. So, and having just phone in your hand can be a large, misconception, or even a whole large loss of resources and money because we are not maximizing it. So personally, I have the ambition to help people to maximize technology for their dreams and their advantage along the line of whatever they intend to do. So I haven't said that this afternoon I'll be talking about digital literacy, for the workplace. More importantly is for us to know how are we going to leverage technology for our own benefit. Okay. All right. I think I have the right to share now, so I can quickly share my screen. You can see my screen, please let me know.
Yes, we can see your screen.
We can't see your screen, sir.
Yes, we can see your screen, sir. We cannot.
Okay, can you see my slide right now?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes, sir, we
sure,
can see your
sure.
slide.
yes.
Sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes,
All
we
right.
can see it.
I try as much as possible to make this interactive. And if you have any question, you may ask me while I'm talking. Just raise your hand so that I don't run too fast. Okay, so one of the things the major thing we'll be looking at is leveraging technology for career and business. But I'm also aware that what we have here are more of people who are into the career space or the mix and match. But how do we leverage technology for career advancement? And then that's where we're looking at the digital skill advantage. And we believe that at the end of this session, one of the things that we want us to be able to do is to sit in front of any system, any software in this world, and be able to train yourself to grasp it. And if you can pick the skills that are necessary, you should not be afraid of facing or using any software at any time in the industry of your choice. So let's move on as we go on. So digital literacy for the workplace. Now, in the workplace today, just every day, some people think that because they can press their phones. I've gone for a job years back. It was a data entry job. And that data entry job, it was a government, one of the state governments that wanted to digitize their processes and their information. So what was done was to create a data center where people go and then they just enter all the information of staff, government staff, budget, and all of those things. And one of the interesting things then is because the job was so massive, so the recruiters, they had to go to streets to look for guys who have digital exposure, so to say. I'll be talking about that. There's even between exposure and experience. So they just go out there, they just pick some guys at the cyber cafe. They say, oh, come on, let's just go and enter, data. So when those guys when they got into the space, the data center, they found it very hard to just even type and impute data. Why? Because they were not skilled. And so that's some of the challenges we have today in Africa, where we think that because you can press phone or you can make phone calls, you are digitally aware. But we see as we go along that there's a whole lot to do, beyond that. And so we can begin to position ourselves, for the great thing. So 4 things we are quickly going to try to do today. I'll be fast so that we can interact. Is one, we want to do the reality check. We need to be sincere with ourselves? Or am I still online?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, you're online.
All right. Maybe I have to start checking like Mr. Matthew. Okay, so as I was saying, we want to have a reality check. We need to be real with ourselves. And what is the Digital Skills Index? The global index was the global index saying about digital skills for the workforce or the workplace across the globe. Where are we in Africa, and particularly across the country? Now, then we look at the digital skill exposure. How are we exposed to the digital sphere? And what I want us to do is we'll be looking at how to use any software in 24 hours. Simple tricks we can put in place. And then I want to do a demonstration of what it is. If you are looking at the software, what is it going to look like? And of course, we probably have some time to interact. Okay, so let's take a reality check. Now, there's a global ranking. It's called the DSGI, it's called the Digital Skill Gap Index. And this is taken from the one of 2021. And why 2021 is still relevant today is because the index is so low that even in another 5 years, the global index may not be covered. So the Digital Skill Gap Index says that most economies are failing to bridge the digital skills divide, the gap between the demand for digital skills for a given level of industrial development and the capacity of economies, policymakers to respond to the talent deficit, and educational institutions and corporate trainers to deliver the needed skills. So that's just an example. Just in brief, what it means is that there's a large gap across the globe, and industries, they lack digital skills, employees that can carry out tasks. And so even it's affecting the economies of the world. I know people who are in Nigeria who are working for companies overseas, and they are making a whole lot of money. Across Africa, there are so many people who are also working. But as much as that is said, and a whole lot of people believe it is true, you will see that is only a very, very small number of people who are leveraging this technology for their own advantage. And of course, this is going to happen when you show up at interviews or you intend to even write your CV. Simple optimizing your LinkedIn page. There's what is called LinkedIn page optimization. There's a way you have to put your LinkedIn page so that you can be, you can easily be seen. There are ways that you can put bot on your LinkedIn page such that it can even send mails to people, or you can respond when you are not there. There are different technology or different apps you can put on your social media that can make you, like a power magnet, on in the digital space. So the ranking is very low. So if you put it simply, is that the digital skill gap means that there's just not enough people with the right digital skills to power companies, transformation now and in the future. And then, so this is low supply and demand for digital skills. And quickly to buttress this, I'll just jump this and show us a map, the data skill map, all right? And you can see here the African countries. If you look all the way, African countries are in, say, from where, maybe from 99. Okay, we see Ghana in 85. We see Brazil in 96. And then you now see all the other African countries coming down. Algeria, 99. Uganda, 100. Zambia, 101. Nigeria is 103. And Cameroon is 105. This is just showing us how the countries are faring in digital skills. So, which means that as we speak, more Africans, or most of the African employees, are not digitally capable to handle global jobs. And That's a skill problem. It's a skill problem. So most times, I used to say this. One of the guys that interned with us years back went for an interview, and the only reason they had to employ him, he was already going. So they just asked him, "Oh, do you have PowerPoint skills?" And the guy just learned the PowerPoint skills with us. I said, "Yes, I can do PowerPoint." Yeah, we need somebody to be able to do that. They just brought him in, and that's what got him the job. So as simple as what some people think is PowerPoint, it can become very, very relevant. Excel, all those things, they are critical. And there are other advanced levels, of tech expertise that may be necessary. So you look at it, Africa is doing badly in digital skills. So let's not get carried away by all the social media that we are just going every day. For most of us who spend time on social media, interestingly, what has amazed me over the years are people who say they are looking for jobs. They spend more time online. They seem to always have more data than those who are not looking for job. But what do they do most of the time? They're on Instagram and Facebook. They are not really using even that data to achieve so much for their job search and all of that. So it's critical for us to understand that having the phone or having a digital platform does not necessarily make you to be digitally skilled or digitally relevant in the world today. We are saying this is reality check. So that means that you need to look at yourself. These things that we are saying, you need to come to tell yourself, oh, this is where I am. There's no need to, like the slang we usually use around here, there's no need to form, to pretend, to try to say, yes, I know. We all know where we are when it comes to digital skill. Now, let's focus on Africa. In Africa, there is a digital skill gap in Africa. And you can see countries that are trying to advance in their digital skill. On the top list is Mauritius. So not just Africa, sorry, I mean sub-Saharan Africa. So this is sub-Saharan Africa. So you see all the way down, and even my good country, Nigeria, is 3.6. 3.6. And the best in Africa is just average. So there's still a whole lot of gap. And as we said, these are not just numbers. This equal to, or this translates to millions of workforce, millions of people who are, doing one thing or the other within the workspace. And what does this mean for us? I'm going to quickly switch. I want to look at the implications. What does this imply critically when it comes to digital skills space? Just give me a minute. I want to switch to something else. I just realized I had that resource I would like to show. All right. Okay, so I'll change my slide right now. 3 things happen. Can you see my slide?
Yes, I can see the slide of the countries and their statistics.
Oh, that's the one you are still seeing.
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I'll show it. I need to stop this one. And then I'll share another one. So what does this imply? It means that for one reason or the other, we have educational backwardness. And what we are saying is that in terms of people who are actually ready from the school level. We are already deficient of digital skills. Most of us went through school. Like today, I asked a few people, so when you were in the classroom, were you used what was used to teach you? Some of us went through school with whiteboard, blackboard, and maybe any kind of board apart from smart board. Some people are lucky, maybe you've gone to a very, very good school, they're able to do that. But even at its best, there's hardly any African country where they use technology to teach any kind of subject. So most times it's just presentations like this. So we already have a deficiency from education. And what that also means is that we are globally deficient, right? There's a globally deficient workforce. So you probably get out of the country and some of the things you cannot do. In fact, most people who get out of the country, out of Africa, they have to go through a kind of reorientation to get into the workforce over there because there's that digital gap that they are not able to fill. So, and that's a serious problem. And of course, in the African setup, companies are already advancing, and there's a whole lot of there's a demand, great demand for digital skills. And what that also means is that there's a loss of share in global digital economy. Today, a lot of you can actually leverage on this digital economy. It means that you can actually stay home, work from home all over the globe. There are people employed from companies all over. During COVID, I had an opportunity of getting picked, some company picked to me from Germany. And they asked, hey, so what are you? We like your profile. We like you to come and work for a company, blah, 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 blah. I know, and it was going to about, was it $2,000 per month or something? And a whole lot of conversation started from there. And what happened is, I have to mention the software. Do you have the software? Can you use this? Can you use that? So there are companies who are looking. And so when people say there's no job, the truth is not, the truth actually is that there is a whole lot of jobs. What we don't have are workers or digitally skilled workforce that can leverage that level of work. And of course, it affects the country because a whole lot of money will not flow. In fact, from the digital skill gap, there's a whole lot of amount of money, about trillions of dollars, that even America is, I think the Americans are thinking they are losing. So now again, what that means is impending lifestyle hardship. Because when you are taking the backbench in the digital economy space, is a recipe for future hard lifestyle. In very not distant future, some people are afraid of AI. The truth is that a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A whole lot of things would happen. But AI is not the end of us. AI is supposed to be an enabler. Because they are, like what Mr. Matthew has said initially, it's not everybody that is going to be able to use. There are skills that AI cannot fulfill, human skills, right? But then people have to use AI too. You use AI to achieve what you want. AI is not going to use human beings. And we're going to get to that point where we understand how to do that. And then, of course, increase cyber crime. That for a lot of people who do not understand the digital landscape, you can get scammed. And so only a few people are the guys who know how to use these things, so they can definitely take over and use that skill against us. And how does that affect you as a worker? Even all your hard-earned money can be lost because you do not know how to navigate your way with simple, what we call it, simple something like cyber security and the likes. So we have problems to attend to. So whether you like it or not, you are going to face that issue. It is going to happen. So the best bet is to begin to work on yourself and make sure that you begin to increase your digital skill. Now, so what are these digital skills? Let me switch to another slide so that we can continue with that. Okay, so just a minute. Okay. And we are back. So how do we quickly understand the digital skills? So one of the things we need to understand that is a data first world right now. Years back, since say 2000 or thereabout, generations or the younger ones are really coming up exposed to the digital system. For some of us here, you are probably born in the era where you are born, you already understand from. I don't know, some of us have seen this ad, this ad online at a point by a company that the baby came out of the womb and was able to operate the mobile phone almost immediately. So it's a digital world first because today's kids learn coding before they even start writing. So we call this expertise digital skills. But in the next generation, they are simply skills. For the next few, say in the next few years, it's going to be the regular skill everybody should have. So it's not going to be like, oh, I know how to code.
Your line is breaking.
Okay, my line is breaking. Wow.
Yeah.
It's stable now. It's stable.
Okay, sorry about that. It's the network. Okay, so right now, the first thing people want to do or connect is through digital platforms. Even when you are applying for jobs, gone are the days when people have to queue and wait for letters to come. Just immediately you can get a job online is digital skills first, and that you can go online and you can navigate your way to do a job as we are doing right now. You know, COVID just changed everything. A lot of people who were backward then, COVID had to force them into scope, and everybody's now trying to get something. So digital skills are broadly defined as the skills needed to use digital devices, communication applications, and network to access and manage information, from basic online searching and emailing to specialist programming and development. So, and I believe that for some of us here already, we are good with this. It may be interesting to know that, or let me say, I hope that some people did not help us to set up our Zoom. For some people, you still have to ask for help. Please help me set up my Zoom. And if you are looking for work today and you cannot do this simple task, that's great efficiency. And so what's the core of this digital skill? At the core, these skills help people communicate and collaborate to develop and share digital content. And the major one is problem solving. You know, sorry, this is supposed to be problem solving in work anywhere in the world. You have to be able to solve problems. So as you look at it, for everything, for every problem, there is a program, a software, an application, you know, that you can use to sort that problem. And so you need to have the correct digital skill that is aligned with your purpose or with your what we call it, with your industry or with your profession, so that you can leverage it. And that's where people go right now. Even as you can mention the mundane kind of work. The moment you have a digital skill, you have an edge in that space. And so what are the entry digital skills that we look at? Computer literacy, ability to see before a system, power the system, go around the save. Some people cannot save simple file. If you save a file, if you come back in 2 days' time, you are looking for the file because all you just did, just click Control S. That's what they told you, and the thing is saved in a folder that you don't know. So you can get into trouble. That's why computer literacy is key. Simple computer operation, you know, data entry. Everybody should know how to enter data at this stage because there are information that will be required to put into place. Even your simple CV, your CV is a data sheet because it details all the things that you're able to do. Somebody picks the CV and can actually define who you are and can make decisions based on that. So it's part of data entry skills that you need to acquire. Social media, though it's not right now wide in Africa, but in the international space, there's now what we call work social, where social media is brought into the workplace and people are interacting and making social media even more meaningful all around. Web-based communications and research, word processing, email and chat. Ordinary, just sending email. Some people cannot reply email. So you have applied for a job and then they send an email to you. How you respond to the email, how your syntax, your arrangement, and all of those things, they are key. That's the first test of your digital skill. When you respond, is your first set of digital skill. You know, today people already have AI and bots that can reply emails. When an email comes into their box, even while they are sleeping, the AI is answering the email, and somebody think that you are the end of it, you are the one sending it. So you can leverage on all these digital platforms. Then secure information. That's if you have to learn how to secure information, because when you are working in a workplace, there will be a lot of files that you will be, sharing. So if you don't know how to protect files, you can actually cost the company a lot of money because you do not understand securing information, in the digital space. And then, of course, processing, a whole lot of processing has to go in place. So this is when you want to get into job at the entry level skill, these are the things they're expecting you to be able to do, at least not as the professional, but you should have an idea of how to go around that. And of course, advanced skills. Now, this is when you're talking about the big jobs. This is talking about programming, web and app development, which is data business analysis. So there's a whole lot of space right now for digital analysts, digital marketing and content creation, a whole lot of almost every company, even business owners, as just an entrepreneur right now, they need to engage online. That's where digital marketing, content creation comes into place, digital design, data visualization. Now, these are like pro kind of jobs, professional understanding or professional skills that you need to acquire if you want to specialize. Data product management, data science, user experience, and a whole lot of other things. So these are data skills that are a demand. So what are we saying? New Digital Skills Index from Salesforce, that's a company that is involved with research for sales and employment. They revealed that 76% of global workers say they are unequipped for the future of work. And I know as we are saying this, a whole lot of things should be going through our mind. All right, I am Yusuf Isaac with your hand raised. Okay, so you have the floor. Yusuf Isaac.
I think it's a mistake or a network issue. Maybe not where there is answer.
Okay, all right. So let me help you lower the hand. All right, so we can go on. So you see, a whole lot of people are not digitally equipped for the work of the future. And let's not just deceive ourselves. The future is now. Because yeah, we can still survive now, we will just do it when the future comes. It's not my own season, but the future is now. And so and this is not supposed to discourage us. This is to show us, for people like me, what I see is a whole lot of opportunities. That means there's a whole lot of opportunities for people who can jump on this digital roller coaster. And of course, the digital skill can begin to give you leverage before long. And so there's a whole lot of space there for us. And so what are we saying when it comes to the digital space? So we move into looking at what has happened over the years. What has happened over the years is what we call one of the first things early is technovation. That was when that was before mobile came into space. Before mobile phones, a whole lot of we have emails, maybe I can say that I'm one of the luckiest people who was I was born in the era of the emails. At least when emails came out, I was able to open email. Lotus, I think that was Lotus then. No, Lycos. That was one of the first emails with Yahoo and all of that. That was when things started. And you know, then people started running around. There are people who ran away from it. There are people who said, no, we cannot do this. But things have moved beyond that. And then when mobile came up, we got into the era of technoruption. Everything was disrupted. People will not believe that just on their phone. You know, if you take it for instance, when you talk about sending letters, email killed letter writing. No need to start sending emails. And then when mobile came, every other task could be done. Phone, all the old challenges that people used to have with connecting with people, our advertisement. I used to be, you know, an advert. I used to be in the advert space. Okay. So I was an advertising practitioner. And of course, as a creative director, you think that the whole world will be waiting for you when they want you to do billboards on the road. But now every advert goes on the phone. People can connect, everything can, you know, so there's a whole lot of disruption that took place. And right now we are moving into the era of techno future. In the next few years, if you don't have any technology, any tech skill, you're as good as dead. You're as good as dead. You cannot communicate, you cannot leverage, and then that is why it's possible. It's critical for us to quickly run along right now. So the world is now online because everything has happened, and if you look at it, just looking at social media alone, just social media alone. This is also like this is 2022 data. Just on social media network, we already have about 1.7 billion people using their devices. You have 2.1 billion active on social media, and you have 3 billion people who have access to internet. So if today some people say they are poor because they are not leveraging the digital skill. For those who want to work, digital skill will cut you, mark you out, will stand you out as the person to employ. And so you see, whether we like it or not, you cannot keep saying, oh, I don't believe it. I'll get my work. I'll do this. I'll do that. In the next few years, you may not even have a job to hold on to. So it's better we start to position ourselves for that. I am aware that we're addressing the younger generation, but also I have seen in my communication with people that even the younger people who fool themselves thinking that just because they can press their phone, they have digital skills. We've asked people who have graduated and we've asked them, what do you think about digital skill? They don't show so much interest. They are not following it. Some people are afraid, and that is a recipe for failure. Now, I'm showing you this screen because I wanted to realize that there are a whole lot of people who are putting money, who believe in the digital space. And this is people who are pouring money in the social media space. You can look at South Africa, Nigeria, to Tanzania. Those are the 5 top countries in Africa that are in the digital space trying to get things done. And so you can imagine how much money companies are putting. And so if you look at, if you come down to the size of internet advertising market, here you can see that just in South Africa, there's a projection of over $500,000 that people are going to be using to exchange hands online, just to communicate. So this is just to show us the opportunities that we have. And this talks about a projection of the budget of Africans, of countries in Africa that we can use. So I'm just going to run through this. The top and the most valuable companies in the world today, they are tech companies. So everything is going through all that. And we can look at all the likes of Microsoft, Saudi, and all the likes. So what are the opportunities? So leading global economy is the opportunity we have right now. And then digital space is overtaking the oil industry, and it's also influencing oil and gas operations. So a whole lot of things have to happen. And then what the interesting thing that it become democratized, so anybody can have access to wealth. The digital skill can break the divide. So it's no longer about where you live. It's not about what you can do. And of course, easy accessibility. Anywhere you can access resources and you can access people. And then of course, the powerful thing about digital skill is that it runs on intelligence. It's just your brain. Your brain is a natural resource that you need to use. So, and we believe that everybody has brain. How you apply it is now critical to your advantage. So, so one of the things that digital skill brings to bear is that is a leveler. So in the digital space, there's nobody who is, the age does not matter. Even in digital space, your experience, like how many years of work experience you have, may not really count, because when you show up with a skill that can solve a problem immediately, you become the candidate of choice. And so no geographical boundaries. You can work at home, you can still get paid, you can work in your country here in Nigeria or wherever you are, and you can still get paid in hard currency. There's no educational level. So in digital skill, there are young people who have not even gone to school who can actually solve certain problems with their digital skills, you know. So it gives you an employment edge, because when you go for interviews, people are looking for the things you can do. And from what we have learned in the previous session, you can begin to bring this to bear. If you have this task, if you are confident to stand before anybody, knowing that you can sort them out. So imagine you go for an interview and you need to help them to sort out some of their problems, maybe with their computers or their printer and all of that. You're already a worker in that space, you know. So part of overseas migration, if you want to move overseas, your digital skill can fast track it, because there are companies that are looking for people. There are those who have been working offline, they have been working remotely for companies overseas, and they are so good that they say, come on, come over. I know someone who is working at Sony. He was just here in Nigeria and was employed from Sony, and he had to move over. And then so global network, even if you are not employed really, with your digital skill, you can network with people across the globe. Right where you are, if you are even working in Nigeria with digital skill, you know, there are platforms where you connect with other people who are there, you know. So I'm a member of American Writers Association, and if there's any issue, there are global platforms I belong to. If there's any job I have an issue with, I'll just throw it in that community. You see answers coming from all over the place. Oh, you need to do it like this. Oh, you could have done that. Some people will even send you samples of what they have done. So it's a global space, and this is great opportunity. It's a very big opportunity for everyone, and I believe that we can leverage that individually. So tech skill is the ultimate leverage. So it provides an edge for you in career and business. And we are talking about going beyond the basics. So, and when we mean going beyond the basics is not about just because you can use your phone, you know. And well, we're going to look at that quickly. So the prevailing tech today is we have the online, the web-based technologies, we have mobile technologies, we have wireless technologies that are all over the place that we can begin to use. And let's go on to what we mean. How do we start using them? Now that's talking about digital relevance. How do you become digitally relevant today? So if you look at this slide, we'll start from daily living. That is the one on the orange. You will look at how there's this graduating line on top. That's to show the relevance from the tip, which is on the right, to the left. So the general living, that's what most of us are doing right now. We are probably digitally relevant because you can go on social media, you can type on your phone, you can do a couple of things. That's for daily living. And of course, I must say, just 2 days ago, I guess, I was with someone. She was going to start a company. She wanted to start a fashion outfit. And then she was asking, I need the name, I need the tag, the tagline. How will I put my name? How do I get this? And simply I said, you have the answer on your phone. Because today, WhatsApp has AI. There's Meta AI on WhatsApp. And I just type there, I need so there's what we call prompt. Just put the prompt. What are the kind of names I can use for a fashion outfit that does this and this and this and this? And right there, then she was like, wow, seriously? And she just typed it in. And the suggestions that just popped up right on the phone with AI. I said, okay, so what is the tagline I can use for this kind of name? Boom, the thing came up. And I think yesterday she sent me a couple of stuff she got from AI right on the phone. So even daily living, some of us are not maximizing all the tools that we have on the phone today. But the fact that you can even communicate is a good one. So that's daily living. That's the minimum level of digital relevance. Now you move on from just using the digital skills for simple tasks. You move into survivor, workspace, and that's where we are, the workspace. So this is where you increase value, where you are able to use it to survive, to convert that skill to what somebody can pay for. And that's what happens when you go to work or you go to work anywhere, the ability to convert your digital skills to valuable solving problems, to solve problems and bring value to the table, so much more that someone can pay you for it. And that is when you have entered the survivor's zone. So whatever digital skill you are right now that you are not able to use to solve any problem that you can be paid for is at the very, very, very minimum. And so you need to graduate to that level. And of course, the greatest value you begin to get, the next one is a specialized value system, where you have specialized skills. So when you're talking about like what we have discussed, web development, data analytics, business analysis, you're able to use specialized software to solve problems. Now you become someone of great value. I learned that yesterday. I saw something online that in China right now, there's some, I think a company has just come up with an idea. You just enter the studio, the camera will scan you, and they will print your picture in 3D. So it's not like you have it in pictures like on a paper right now. It will come out in 3D like you are like a statue of yourself, And so things are moving. There are specialized levels that certain skills must get to for you to be there. There are people right now who are in cyber security. They're like the best guys right now. Everybody's because cyber, because of the advancement of technology, there's a lot of risk in the digital space. Cyber security guys, I know guys that are earning serious money just because of their cyber security knowledge. And so you become specialized. You can graduate to that level depending on your vision. So the more specialized, the more the advantage. And those are some of the things that we are looking at. Even myself right now, there are certain programming languages I'm beginning to learn, like those I run away from them. I used to think that, oh no, but the more I see the need, because there's problems we are trying to solve, I get to talk to my app guys. Okay, what can we do here? What can we do there? And sometimes like I'm talking gibberish. I don't even understand this language, so that when they are talking to me, I don't have to be the one to do it. But the understanding will help me to, network and to also understand their challenges and what they can do. So you get specialized, and that's how you become digitally relevant. That's your digital relevance journey, so to say. So now we get to what is actually the problem. So the problem with leveraging technology in Africa is not the software, but the mindware. So there is what I call technophobia. Technophobia. There are people, the moment you put a computer before them, they're already jittery, they're already thinking like, how do I navigate my way? So there are people, I don't know if you have worked in places, there are bosses you have who probably don't know some of the digital skills. You see the way they scream and how they are very much on the edge. It's just a mind thing. All you need to do is just tweak your mind, and you see that technology is very, very simple. Very simple. And that's one of the reasons that we know that within 24 hours, you should be able to at least find your way around any software. So the mindware, and when we're talking about the mindware, what do we mean? So this is what it means. One is that you must understand your deficiency quotient. You have to be, you need to understand that, oh, this point, I think there are things I need to learn. There's deficiency quotient, and then you move from deficiency to efficiency. And there's only one thing that can tweak that for you. That is your sincerity and your humility. So you must be sincere with yourself. This is what I need. This is what I need to learn. I do not know this. And then you are also humble to learn. One of the challenges I've found training people in the digital skills, over the years is just the fact that, people are too fast. They want to get everything now. So they are not even patient. And that's why some people go to tell lies on their CVs, thinking that they can deceive people. If you're unlucky and you meet somebody who actually knows that software or that program in the interview, and they start asking you questions, you start sweating. When there's this thing they say, you sweat under AC. The room is cold, but you are the only one sweating. They ask you, why are you sweating? You know that something has happened to you because you have not been, sincere or humble enough to upgrade. I once worked with someone years back, and I can tell you, not a very palatable thing I like to say, but this guy came on board as the accountant, I guess, and was going to, there's a whole lot of data to impute, a whole lot of things to do. So he's always, the guy, when you see him, is always frustrated because there are things to do. So one day he called me and he said, Mr. Gideon, you need to help me. You need to help me. I don't know this job. I said, but when you were coming for this job, did you not know what you were coming for? He said, yeah, I know. But I was thinking I will survive. So I told him, I said, let me just give you a simple advice. Sack yourself before they sack you. Sack yourself, go and learn the skill and come back. Because I have a lot of work on my own table. I will not leave my own work to start attending to you. Even though once in a while I will need to work with after office hours to help him sort a few things out. But things have even gone beyond that. Some such people today would not even probably go through the interview level. So this is what we need to do and get along. Now, this is a quick one. I will need responses. I'd like us to respond. If you look at this table, what do you think is the right order? Is it process, people, or purpose? Is it people, process, purpose? Is it purpose, people, process? This is going to set our minds for the digital skills we need to acquire. All right, so I'll need people to contribute. Who wants
Purpose,
to take?
people, and process. Purpose.
Okay. You are taking purpose, people, and process.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
Any other person?
Process. Purpose, people, process.
Same thing.
Purpose, people, process. Are you people having a meeting behind? So who has another idea or another answer? Who wants to pick another answer?
Process, people, purpose.
Okay. All right. For those who have chosen purpose, people, and process, I'd like you to explain why did you choose that?
First off, there should be a purpose for whatever thing or decision you want to take or make. The people, the purpose will drive you as the person. Then from there, you now move to the process of actualizing that goal or vision or idea in your head. So that's my own take on it.
Okay, great. What's the name, please?
Ubara Morris.
So I didn't pick that, sorry.
Ubara Morris. Ubara Morris.
Okay. That's according to Professor Ubaramos. I hope I got it right. Forgive me if I don't, or if I didn't.
Ubara Morris. Ubara
Ubaramos. So that's according to the professor. Now, someone chose process, people, purpose. You want to give us a reason?
Okay, I believe you need to actually analyze why, or you need to analyze your situation. You need to analyze what you want to use the whole thing for. So you need to study the people you are going to be working with and the purpose that you will need the training for.
Okay. All right. Now, my answer. Is people, process, and purpose. People, process, and purpose. And I guess you want to know why. Everything starts with people. There's no purpose or process without people. So as we speak, if you look at your environment, or let's just say even your street, if you move all the people out of your street, that street is dead, right? There won't be any process that will be happening there, and it may even lack purpose. The only reason the world is running because we have people. So, and the idea is that even technology itself has been created by people to achieve a particular purpose. So people, process is what joins people, that links people to their purpose. So you want to have for instance, let's look at an issue. So let's look at, say, a data analysis issue. And the data set is supposed to help you to reach a conclusion. Just for instance, like the data skill gap that we have done, it was done from, the result was from data gathered across the globe from different employees. But it's someone, a human being, a person that said, let us go and achieve this. Let's know what is the rate of data gap in the world. Okay, so the purpose was set. And of course, there's no way you can achieve that purpose without process. So when you say, oh, I want to do this, you must put processes in place to help you arrive at that point. So if you have whatever thing you set, if you have the wrong process, you cannot achieve the purpose. So how many of you agree with me? Okay, somebody is raising hand. I hope that's okay. So I have Adewale Yusuf. You want to say something? Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. So I want to ask, why is there no people, purpose, and process as part of the option? So, as you said now, people, purpose, and process.
Okay, let's see. All right, it's not there. Yes. Okay. The first thing is people. The next thing actually is the process. Whatever process you initiate will arrive at any purpose. So the purpose of a thing is built on the process, achieving that purpose. So the purpose here is what you achieve eventually. It's not what you have in mind. Because a lot of people feel that purpose is just a mind thing. So this is not a mind thing. We're talking about something achievable, the end goal.
Okay.
All right. So that's what the purpose stands for. It's not just the thought of, oh, I want to achieve this. No, it's the end goal. That's the purpose. So what will lead to your end goal is process. Now, how do we bring this into technology? You get what I'm saying now? So how do we bring this into technology? Quickly, is that if you look at what we have here, is that you have problems. Okay, I guess I should take it one by one. Now, there are problems. We are solving problems for people. Technology is solving problems for people. Just for a moment, forget about all the issue of AI, robots, everything taking over. They exist to solve problems for you. Your software is existing to solve problems for you, for a company, for an individual. So the chief reason that technology has come to play or to place is because there is somebody that needs it. This is to help us reposition our mind that you are bigger than any technology. You are bigger than any software. So you need to approach technology with that mindset. There's no need to fear any software, any application, anything, because they exist to solve problems for human beings.
Yes,
so
sir.
Technology is a tool. The same way you want to do your gardens, you just take your shovel or whatever and you just pick it and put it inside the ground to plant. Is the same way you use technology. So there's this tech scare. Everybody is afraid. Everybody is knowing technology. What am I going to do? In fact, I can tell you, most people are even going for the wrong tech skills. I'll give you an instance. One of the social impact projects I take in the past few months, I go to the prisons to teach inmates digital skills. I can tell you that today I have inmates that are learning digital skills. They are learning coding, they are learning HTML, they are learning web development, they are learning graphics, right? They are learning videography and all of those things. And so a few weeks back, we started what we call the photography class for people in prison. So you are asking, somebody in prison still learning digital skills? Because we by our understanding is that tech can be used anywhere. So we are building a platform where even inmates can start solving tech problems for NGOs. They can do free jobs for NGOs while they are in prison. Yes. So we started this photography class, and so I had to call the photography trainer, and I said, look, we cannot do photography in this place. The reason is, what are they going to snap? There's already restriction to what they can snap. You can't show their faces, you can't show the environment, you can't do so many things. Okay, so rather than teach them photography in terms of snapping it, we should focus on photo editing, because we can send them pictures for them to edit and they can send it back. You see, that's what we're talking about, relevance. So a lot of people are wasting time learning skills they are not going to use because they don't even know it's a tool to solve a problem. So if you're in an industry, the question to ask yourself is, what are the problems we are solving in this industry? What are the tools that we need? What is the relevant skill to get? So there's this test care that everybody does say, hey, everybody is doing coding. Just this morning, I was on the way to one of the training spaces. I was talking with someone that, look, every school right now, almost maybe the top schools in Nigeria or thereabout, they are saying we are teaching children coding, we are teaching them this. It makes sense, but there are children who are not gifted in that area. There are children who like to write. There are children who like to, to do craft. There are children who like to do different things. All we need to do is to get the digital tool that can help them leverage that skill. So technology is a tool that you use to solve problems for human beings. So AI is not taking over any human being, because even AI itself was created by human beings. Anyway, I learned that they are creating robots now that can repair themselves. I don't know if I will still be here in this space when that happens. For those of you that will be left, you can struggle with that. That's just a diversion, by the way. And so, purpose. And if you look at this grid, so we have problems, we have technology as a tool to solve the problem, and then we have purpose. And we say at this purpose is a growth level. And what that means is that achievement can change, purpose can change, purpose can increase, right? So let me give you a simple example. So one day, years ago, when WhatsApp came out, I told a friend, I said, something is going to happen if WhatsApp can start sending files. Because those days when you want to send files, you have to use Skype, or you use email, or use. I said the moment WhatsApp starts sending files, I said some platforms with that, like Skype and all of this and all of that. And just few months later, WhatsApp started to send files. I said, wow, it's like I can read the future. So purpose can keep changing, and that is why you have to keep retooling. Now, we are not even at the place of retooling, right? Retooling now, but that's what will also happen. And so we just quickly run through this so that we don't stay here for too long. So solve problems, there are industry problems to solve, there are audience to engage, all right? And then for technology as a tool, that's where your skill comes into place. And then you're able to apply your skill. And of course, so if you are looking at this, look at that yellow line from process, because that's what we're talking about. Technology has to do with processing things, at what we call it now, to simplify processes. That's what you use technology to do. You simplify processes. And so it's a tool, and that tool requires skill, and that skill must be applicable, must be relevant. And that's all we're talking about. So right now we go to the last section. Okay, I think this is the third section, which is talking about software. And I don't think I have anybody raising hands, right? So can I continue? Check. So I guess we keep checking now.
Check.
Okay.
Check.
Very well. Thank you. Now my own is super check. So that ends the check. All right. So when we talk about digital relevance, what are we saying? Now, this is positioning you to look at any software in the world. Any software in the world, there are things that they come with that if it does not come with it, it's not a software. So, but just as a general perspective, we look at the fact that we use software to create things. We use it to analyze. Those are the kind of major problems that software are used for. To recreate, that means to relax, to entertainment and stuff like that, and then to engage. So example of software we use to create things, to bring out what we have on our minds, into the digital space, or for someone to see, like we have Microsoft Word, Excel, Photoshop, there are Figma, that's for UI, UX, and there are a couple of other things, we use to analyze, which like calculator, you can use Excel to analyze. These are just basic things that we are talking about that you just need to, have to recreate. You have the Windows Media Player, you have VLC. A lot of us use our laptops to play movies more than solve problems. The only problem most of the systems you have used is just to enjoy music, and that's the end. You are putting it, you are, losing a lot of relevance, and of course, you are putting money on the table. And then to engage, so we look at like what we are doing right now is PowerPoint, WhatsApp, and the likes. So these are just basic software skill, because the idea for this engagement is to just give us that strength of mind or of opinion to go ahead and start using any software. Now, so for anything and any software you are going to use, this is what we call the digital hack. As a user, one of the things, every software has three parts. Any software, anywhere, it has the interface. That's where you are able to see something that you are putting into your phone. When you open any software, any app you open on your phone, what is facing you is called the interface. That's the way I interpret it. Whatever is facing you is the interface. The moment you open any app, what you see there is the interface. And then the interface has tools and commands. We are going to try and check out one before we leave. So tools and commands, just look out for the tool. There are certain things inside that interface that you can use. You can fool around with them. Just touch them one by one. What does this one do? What does this one do? What does this one do? And of course, you begin to have an idea of what it does. And then there are commands. Commands are words, like when you have like save, like export, things that you do to the files that you have created. Those are commands. So every software is going to have that. Number two, every software would have management settings where like the options you have on your phone and where you can go and set it. And every software will have a format through which you send it out. So I guess just for examples, so for instance, the interface is where you create content. Like when you have your WhatsApp, you begin to type, or Microsoft Word, you begin to type, like you have note ideas, like pictures, like videos. You want to use them for, if you are doing video editing, there are things you have to use. The interface is just there. Everything that you can use to solve your problem is resident on that interface. So what do? Take time, check them out one by one, and then you can get conversant with them. Even if you are going to now learn them from someone else at a later time, you are already conversant with those things. So you need to take that adventure to sit and explore. The next thing is the management. There's always a function. And the function, what do you do with it? You use it to customize the software or the application. So you customize the functions for as simple as our WhatsApp. I'm using WhatsApp because I believe a whole lot of us already have that. For as simple as WhatsApp, you can change the background from the options. You can choose the security level. So there are options that you can use on every software. So it's just as simple as that. The look and feel, the security, you set your security. So when you look at any software, you check the settings or you check the options. It will give you an advantage to customize it to how you want it to work for you. So sometimes there are software you use, when you open it on another person's system, it may look different from what it is on your own system, but it's the same software. It's because the person has probably customized it to an extent. So you don't need to be scared to use it. And then, of course, the last thing is the format. And this format is one of the areas that people also make mistakes. Every software will produce or solve a problem in a certain format. So for instance, if you use a picture, sometimes you send, before now, when WhatsApp started, at the point WhatsApp was not taking files, it was just pictures. So if you send a file, you can't see it. So they have to optimize WhatsApp to be able to see PDF files. So there are different formats. So if you are working in a place, you need to know the formats are supposed to save a job. So for instance, like the last session, when you do your CV, you don't send out your CV in Microsoft Word. You send it out as PDF. You must send it out so that it's not editable and it's in a permanent document format. That's what is PDF. Okay. So you need to understand at the end of this using this software, what is it going to be like? What is the format that I will save it so that somebody else will be able to use it? So there are files that you save that when you are sending it, you have to convert it for somebody else to be able to see it. There are some things that if I send to you, you will not be able to see it, whether by email or anything. So you understand video, you understand formats. So that's when you are looking at saving your job or exporting or anything like that. So that marks the end. But just let's go back a bit to just let us understand the fact that every software and every app has its three parts. And even if you have not seen the application before, sit down. The moment you power it up, it comes on, check at the interface. You will see tools and commands. All right, so this is where I'm supposed to stop. But I guess we can do one quick demonstration, right? Can we go ahead for a demonstration?
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are, okay, let me just use a simple software that we use at work. Couple of software used at work. You use Excel, you use what again? Microsoft Word, you use PowerPoint. What else? There are different industry tools to use. Like there are Trello. Today there's a lot for collaboration apps, you know, like Slack and all of that. Okay, maybe I should just let me use PowerPoint for instance, just for quick example. Now I'm going to use my PowerPoint. I'm going to show you something. Now, can you still see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
And let me open a blank one. Just a blank one. All right. So if you are looking at this screen, so you can follow my cursor. Just follow my cursor. So it's going to just lead you. This is your hand inside any software you're using. All right. So if you look at the top, we call this the ribbon. This ribbon, these are all the tools that you need to start with. These are the tools you need to start with. Okay. So you want to create new slide, it's already telling you. There's software that will already tell you what it means. So if you click it, it gives you a new slide. It has added a slide. If you want to, it already comes with typing. You click, you can type. You have all the tools there for typing. So you see, it's very easy. Just if you don't move your mouse across them, test them one by one. And that's why I said 24 hours means that you need to dedicate time. If you use 1 hour every day to try out what does this do, what does this do, what does this do, before you meet a professional to teach you, you already know something. So this is Shape. In fact, just yesterday, I taught 6 to 8 years old children how to use PowerPoint in about, and in less than an hour, within an hour, and we're able to do their slide and animate it. So technology is not what we are supposed to be afraid of. So like this one, you press, it tells you what to do. You just try it out. There's my mouse. Okay. So I just press the box. Simple, that's the box. So you just try these things out. Now the commands, these are the commands. All these things at the top. You can see the ones that is moving here. These are the commands. These are the commands, all right? So with this box, I can format it. This is what it means. I can put it in any way I want. I can change the color. So you need to take adventure with any software and try them out. So you can learn all of this. Now, to also just give you a tip, okay, let me go to the commands. So for instance, this, I have done this, and in my PowerPoint, if I look at it, you see this view. If you come here, it gives you options. This is more like a setting. All right. So if I click this slide master, this is behind the scene of the PowerPoint. I can change, well, sorry. I can change whatever I want here. If I want the text, if I want to change the font, let me give an instance. So I change this font to, I want this font to be this big. What it means is that anytime I open my PowerPoint, especially this file, is going to come without font or that typeface as the title. So if I come here now, you see it has changed it. Whatever I type is going to be that same font. It's no longer the Arial that comes with it. So These are simple ways for you to start accessing technology. The whole aim for this session is to first take away your tech scare, give you some level of confidence to sit before any software and be able to use it. Now, as simple as this software is, I have what I call an we call this add-in. Now, this is not in every form of PowerPoint, right? So this is something that I had to bring into the PowerPoint that can help me to do better work. And you see, there is where it's called iSlide AI. So with this AI, I don't need much. If I want to do a slide, I'll just type the topic. The AI itself can look for the content for me. If I have a content in Microsoft Word, I'll just put it here and it will generate the slide for me and I can adjust it. So AI, I'm the one using the AI to achieve my aim, and it's not just basically telling me what to do. All right. So I think I can stop here and entertain questions.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. My question is, when you're using your PowerPoint to create your presentation, do you need like the same font from the same like, do you need the same font on every slide? Can you just play with your fonts, like use a particular font on the first slide, use another one on the second, like that? You just switch different fonts while you're creating your slide.
No,
And
it's not
secondly,
advisable. Okay, go
okay,
ahead.
okay. Oh, all right, sir. Secondly, this PowerPoint, are they when you create a slide on your phone, does it come out good when you want to use it for presentation? And are there apps that one can use to create these slides besides the one you have on Google's workspaces or and the rest? Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Good one. So what we have just asked, quickly, when you are doing your PowerPoint design, right, you need just like you should choose 2 to 3 fonts. Majorly, your work is best when you use 2 fonts, one for the heading and then the other for the body. Generally, for instance, like PowerPoint, there are 3 levels of engagement. You have the title or the headings, you have the subtitle, and then you have the body. That's the body text. And you can see then the moment you open, let me just use this. Where's the blank one I was using the other time? So where's the blank one? All right, here. So the moment you open a PowerPoint, you can see this is the one, the biggest size. You have the smaller one, which is the subtitle. And then when you go to the next slide, you see the body text. So those are the 3 types. So you can actually use 2 fonts or 3 fonts throughout, but you must maintain it consistently. So if you choose a font for the title or the heading, you keep using it just like that. You use the one for subtitles so that it forms visual cues for whoever is going to read it. All right. Now you ask another question. Okay, if there are other ones, yes. You can use, apart from Google, there is SlideGo. SlideGo, I think where is SlideGo? I guess I have one opened here. Yes. SlideGo also has AI that automatically generates slides for you, and then you can change it. Can you see it?
No, sir, it's not showing.
Okay. This is it. I guess you can see it now.
No, sir, it's still the previous page that is showing. Okay, I can see it now, sir.
Okay, so this slide goes, there are templates for you to use. It also has AI to help you generate your slides. The other AI platforms, if you just type in Google and you have AI apps for presentation, it's going to help you with it. But again, is that you need to, after a while, you will need to also understand presentation skills so that after the job is done, you can edit it to your taste. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay,
Thank
do you
you,
have
sir.
another question? All right, so if we don't have a question, can I have two people quickly tell me what you have gained from this session, please?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, the section has been very, very insightful. For someone like me, I'm not scared of internet, and I've learned that the world has really, really gone digital far, far, far more than I have access to and I'm even using. And a lot of things I need to know is that even the job hunting and things that I've been searching for, in fact, frustrated about, is just lack of internet, instead of lack of not having that is computer literacy, and we trend with what is happening. And also I've learned that I don't really have to wait until I have a professional before I can start using my software. I can actually have to learn a lot of things myself via YouTube, Google, before I can even go in search of a professional to teach me. And there are tons of things. There are jobs there, millions of dollars waiting for people to access, just for me to have the right skill, the right knowledge. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. That's very encouraging to hear.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yeah, I also have like a contribution and what I've learned so far from the session.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. So far from everything you said, I've really been enlightened, and my mind and perspective has really changed for the better. Yes. So when you were talking about those options where we had to choose between process, people, and purpose, and your answer was people, process, and purpose. I was confused at first because when the other guy answered and he said he brought purpose as his first purpose, um, purpose, people, and process, where he was explaining that you need to have a purpose for whatever you want to do before you can actually then get the people to do it, or you as the person. And then your own answer was the people, process, and purpose. I got to understand that purpose in that context was not actually the motive behind why you are doing whatever you're doing, but the end result of what you are trying to achieve.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. Then you also talked about people not being afraid or feeling intimidated by technology. Technology is not our enemy. We are supposed to see technology as our colleague in achieving whatever we set out to achieve. Because right now the world is digitalized to an extent where if you stand at the center of things right now, you'll be lost because people have gone far, the world has gone far, and then it's just like you are far behind. So it's not technology is not our enemy. We are supposed to see it as a colleague, as a tool or something we are working hand in hand with to achieve our goals. And also I was telling someone recently because I had issue with my laptop and then I left it. I didn't fix it because I use my phone to do a lot of the
All
things
right.
that I've learned in tech. But then I see that there's so much that my phone cannot help me achieve. and I really need a system. And I was telling someone that having a system, a laptop, is not actually, it's not luxury or it's not fancy. It's a necessity to have like a laptop. So I'm really grateful for these sessions that we've had today and for the opportunity to even be a part of whatever is going on here. Thank you so much, sir.
Great, thank you. Let me just give you another side to what you are doing with your phone, right? If you have a phone, you can actually connect it to your TV, and that will become your screen. If you have what we call a USB dongle, you just connect your mouse to it, and you can have a laptop already, so to say. So you have bigger to deal with. You have your mouse, you know.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there are simple ways to do that. Because one of the things we do is low-tech technology for Africans. You need to at least is to break the barrier of technology. That's what our own work is for. So you can take that with you too.
Sir, thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, so that marks the end of this. I'll hand over to the coordinator.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Gideon. Thank you for the knowledge that has been shared here. I mean, very impactful. And like I said over the first session, you know, your action points. What are you going to do? What action will you take? What's your strategic next action? Very important that you take note of that. You can write it down, or you could just take note of it and ensure you do that within the next 48 hours. What will you do with what you have heard? You know, most people hear things, they are wild, but they don't act on them. And soon enough, they forget about it. So what will you do in the next 48 hours? These are one of the things we teach people and ways to become more productive, right? So all you've learned today from the first session, second session, ensure you take action points that you intend to act on in the next 48 hours, and then the next 1 week, and then the next 1 month. Just break it down in those three columns: 48 hours, 1 week, 1 month. All right, and then ensure you do that. All right, thank you very much. Now the attendance link has been shared on the group on